Phillips Show, broadcasting live from Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada. Mr. Randy Wangs in Culver City.
John, Oakland Police Chief Floyd Mitchell has a warning for Oaklanders after 2 armed robbers got shot and killed at that East Oakland Cash for Gold store.
I don't want anyone to think that we're in a place to where we want our community to become vigilantes.
Really?
That is quite a statement. Play that again.
I don't want anyone to think that we're in a place to where we want our community to become vigilantes.
Has he seen what's going on in his city?
So what? You just want them to get robbed with a smile on their face? Who are we supposed to call? Superman?
Who else do we go call Superman?
You know what they say about Oakland.
It's wild, wild west out here.
800-222-5222 is the telephone number, 1-800-222-5222. As I mentioned at the top of the show, I am broadcasting live from Las Vegas, Nevada. I gave a speech in front of the David Horowitz Freedom Center earlier this morning at the Fontainebleau Hotel. And a lot of people were hitting me up before I left, given the news events of the week with the assassination of Charlie Kirk and the manhunt. Thankfully, they were able to find the alleged killer earlier today. That was announced by President Trump on Fox and Friends this morning. But people were saying, don't go. It's too dangerous. Don't do that. Lay low. I know that the Reagan Library was supposed to have Ben Shapiro speak, I think it was today, and they canceled out of security concerns. But Randy, there was manna from heaven when I walked into the building today. It was a sign from God to let me know that everything would be safe and all would be fine here at the Fontainebleau Hotel in Las Vegas.
And what was that?
There is also a great big MMA fight going on in the same building. And you can't go 5 feet in this hotel without running into an MMA fighter or their entourage who look like MMA fighters. And then the people who are here to watch the fights are all rappers, and they're here with their entourage. I have never felt safer in my entire life.
So I guess this will be the first time in a while Vegas is busy.
It is. And let me tell you, every time one of these guys, one of the rappers walks by, I just give them the head nod, and I know they have more guns on them than Elvis did when he went to see Nixon. And if anyone thinks they're going to cause any trouble at this hotel, they better take one look at that casino floor and think again. I feel safer here than I do when I'm on the beach in Hawaii. Because let me tell you something. If I get attacked by a shark in Hawaii, there's not 422 people ready to start kicking the hell out of that shark. But here there is. Not only do I feel safe, Randy, being around this environment, I might buy a ticket to the fight. I like these people. They have a huge wrestling ring right in the lobby. Everyone's getting their picture taken over there while they check in.
Now, before you commit, have you actually looked at the prices?
Oh, what are they charging? Maybe I need to start a rap career so I can afford it.
Let's see if we could find out how much this Fontainebleau MMA fight is going to cost you if you want to go to it the day before. Fontainebleau Fight Club?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Let's see what we can get here. Oh, it's the big Canelo fight? Oh boy.
Yeah, his picture's all over the building. Is it more than the Wizard of Oz?
Yes. It's going to cost you quite a pretty penny if you want to join your new friends.
Well, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just see him over at the hotel bar.
You could instead be gambling that money away and watching the fight on a TV.
Let me tell you, they're easy people to talk to. You wouldn't think so, but they are. You just walk right up to them. You don't even know their name. You just smile and nod. You go, okay, so how many pit bulls do you have? Boom, the conversation starts.
Okay, here we go. Canelo versus Crawford. It's actually at the Allegiant Stadium. The cheapest ticket, I believe, is $332 for the nosebleeds.
Yeah, I won't be paying that. But they're all staying here. I think there's semifinals or there's something going on here because they are all here. And this building is decked out for MMA fighting all over the place.
They do have a Fountain Blue watch party at the tavern.
Randy, maybe you and I should do the show from the Octagon. That would be new. And then when I was bringing the radio equipment up to the room, I think they all thought I was an MMA broadcaster, which is interesting.
Well, there's a whole bunch of sports people right there doing broadcasts from there. Whenever these big fights, there is a big radio row. Even I've done that before.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to sit too close, though, because then the blood gets on you. It's like the fighting version of a Gallagher concert.
How do you think you would do doing the play-by-play for one of these things?
I'm not sure. Probably not well, because I can't stand the sight of blood.
A little too squeamish for this?
I would probably be okay with the intros. I would be okay building up to the fight. But the moment someone's head got cracked open, it would sound like a woman was being murdered. All right, so that's my day today here in Las Vegas. Speech was this morning. It went well, so now it's time to breathe and relax and talk to MMA fighters and rappers.
You are 2 hours and 45 minutes away from being able to gamble and drink.
Oh, yeah, and play the Buffalo machine with the rappers. What are you going to do? All right, there is a story, Randy, that caught our eye in Koreatown, where a homeless encampment got to be so big that it has its own tennis courts.
It is a massive homeless encampment, and it's right in the middle of Koreatown. And apparently, because it's on private property, there's nothing the city can do about it.
I'm surprised the homeless like playing tennis. They seem more like pickleball people to me.
For more, here is ABC 7. Eyewitness News in Los Angeles.
New this morning, an empty lot on South Manhattan Place in Koreatown, there's the map, is now the subject of a 7 on Your Side investigation. This kind of gives you an idea where it is. This empty space is nestled near apartment complexes and other buildings between 7th and 8th Street. But this is what it looks like from the air. You've got multiple people calling this space home. You can see the dwellings right there. It's really an encampment, and it's different than others because it's on a private lot, and that proves to be a challenge for neighbors and the city. Investigative reporter Kevin Ozebek spoke with some of the neighbors about their concerns.
I'm going to guess they're not happy about it.
Here's a question, Randy. If the homeless are playing tennis in this encampment, I know that if you're on steroids, that gives you an advantage over your opponent. But what happens if you're on meth? Does that give you superhuman strength too?
Well, it might, but it also might make you so paranoid that you're swinging the racket at anything and everything because you think a whole bunch of tennis balls are coming at you all the time.
And then you start eating the net.
Imagine paying LA rent prices and you end up with a view of this. This fast-growing homeless encampment has popped up on a vacant lot in Koreatown, and neighbors are livid.
The reason why people are sleeping here is because you leaders are sleeping on not taking initiative and action to clean this place up.
Now it's a city in there. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Welcome to Los Angeles.
Street level, it's hard to see inside.
Maybe this will be one of the tourist attractions that everyone who's coming here for the World Cup next year can check out.
Oh, yeah, or how about the Olympics? They can take all the foreign tennis teams over there.
All right, this is Koreatown. You've got Road to Seoul, a Korean barbecue. You've got the Wii Spa. And here's the massive homeless encampment with a tennis court that's stealing power from the city.
Who wants to serve?
Street level, it's hard to see inside unless you go to where people have cut a huge hole into the fence. But from above, you can see there's now even a makeshift sports court in there.
It's a whole community, right? There's a tennis court.
I wonder if they have an HOA there, too.
There's a garden where they're growing stuff.
Gee, I wonder what they're growing.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's not strawberries.
There's a barbecue pit.
Although I do know what they fertilize it with.
There's a barbecue pit.
Oh, maybe they're doing briskets over the weekend.
It's possible. They like fires.
Singman Lee contacted 7 on Your Side Investigates because he's worried about how people in this encampment have ripped open this streetlight, stuck a surge protector in there, and are running power from it across the street and into the encampment.
Okay. How is that not a crime?
All of these people should be moved out of that encampment.
You could say whatever you
want.
want.
They're going to start a fire.
You could say whatever you want about, it's private property and we have to declare it a nuisance. And they are stealing power from the city and creating a fire hazard. How is that not an arrestable offense?
Well, and if you put stress on a grid where it's not meant for that amount of usage, you're going to blow the grid in the entire neighborhood.
In turn, we then contacted District 5 Council member Katie Uroslavsky.
That's a waste of time.
From your perspective, where did this go wrong and why are people in your district still dealing with this property?
So I think that the challenge comes from the fact that this is private property. But because it's private property, there's a different path. And that path is convoluted, it's over-bureaucratic, it's the city at its worst, sort of not being able to get out of its own way.
Aren't you on the city council?
Again, another one who acts like they just write letters to the editor to the newspaper. You're in office.
You created these nonsensical rules. You can undo them.
The owner of the property is an LLC registered in Delaware. They never returned our request for comment, but the council member says they are cooperating and should be putting up no trespassing signs along this fence soon, which will then allow LAPD to step in.
This is so stupid.
An LLC in Delaware? Who's the landlord? Hunter Biden? Now we know why they're willing to put up with all the math.
So you cannot go after the people living in that encampment, stealing power, doing God knows what on that tennis court until you put up no trespassing signs, even though they cut a hole in a fence?
No, this is like the old-timey poll taxes and the poll tests where they ask you questions where they know you're not going to know the answer to it, so you don't vote. They just have all of these ridiculous rules, ridiculous hoops that you have to jump through where you're never going to follow the process the correct way, so that way the homeless never have to leave.
LA's Department of Building Safety says it's issuing an order to comply to the property owner to address the security, rubbish, garbage, trash, and debris. As for the...
And what happens if they don't do anything about it? Oh, nothing?
It's Los Angeles. That's par for the course.
As for the electric rigging, while 7 on Your Side was there, someone came out of the encampment, unplugged the cord, wrapped up the wiring, and slipped right back inside.
So now we have the perpetrator on camera, but still stealing power from an LADWP pole, not an arrestable offense, apparently.
No, I'm sure what their response is going to be is to take down the camera.
So what is the city's public works department going to do to make sure power isn't taken from that streetlight again? Well, the answer tonight at 5 when we take an even deeper dive into the story. In LA's Koreatown, Kevin Ozbeck, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Kevin joins us now, and there's so much to unpack on this. The first thing that jumps to mind, we've had violent crime that is done by people who are experiencing homelessness.
You don't need to say that. You can just say bums.
Yeah, the bums break all the rules. That's a much easier way to make that point.
I can't imagine the security issues for something like this.
You know, tonight at 5, you're going to hear from a young woman who lives around that encampment. She's now afraid to walk her dog around there. She says several people from that encampment have approached her while she's walking alone. I have to say, when we were out there, photojournalist Sean Callis and I were threatened by somebody around there. The people in that encampment, to put it lightly, maybe you're not the most savory, not the most polite people in there.
The reporters had to flee for their safety.
What do you think the batting average is if you live in that neighborhood and you order a package from Amazon, that you actually get the package without it being stolen?
And that's one of the reasons why residents living around there, reached out to 7 on Your Side Investigates.
They reached out to Channel 7 because they reached out to Katie Yaroslavsky and got a bunch of finger pointing and nonsense.
Which is what you always get from Katie.
We're just getting started. There's even more to uncover with this massive homeless encampment in the middle of Koreatown on a vacant lot on private land that's got its own tennis court.
If you'd like to email the show, you can do so at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. That's johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. And Randy, with the weekend quickly approaching, there's no new shows on Saturday or Sunday, but if you want to listen to us, that's easy to do.
I mean, you could also go in the pool, but sure. Search for The John Phillips Show wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's the Apple Podcast app, iHeart, Spotify. Search for The John Phillips Show. Hit subscribe. You could download all the episodes. Do it, and you'll be a good boy. Otherwise...
You're really a bad boy.
Oh, I love that caller.
Please call us back. I promise I'll be nice.
No, you won't.
No, I won't.
And Randy, this time next week, we'll be on the road.
We are heading to Sherman Oaks. It's going to be a week from today, everybody, as we make our triumphant return to the Pineapple Hill Saloon in Sherman Oaks, right off of Van Nuys Boulevard and it's right in between Moore Park and Millbank. I know that area very, very, very well. In that same parking lot where you got the In-N-Out Burger, you've got Pineapple Hill. Angela's got that great patio in the back that we broadcast from 3 years ago. It is next Friday from noon to 3. There's going to be great food. You know there's going to be great drinks, and we'll have special guests like Susan Shelley from the Howard Jarvis Taxpayer Association. The courts have made it easier to raise your taxes, so come by, hang out with us, and sign the petition to protect Prop 13. The John Phillips Show, live in Sherman Oaks at the Pineapple Hill, a week from today, noon to 3. We'll see you there.
All right, let's go back to the totally ridiculous homeless encampment in Koreatown.
You mean the one that has its own tennis court and garden?
That would be the one.
And barbecue pit. Maybe they're doing ribs tonight. Not sure what animal, but they're doing some kind of ribs.
Probably an animal they killed with their own hands.
It's not just the blight and the eyesore. They also have major safety concerns, also fire concerns, given there's that power cord running across the street.
Well, yes, and that theft.
Imagine you drive through that street every day and there's just a giant extension cord in the middle of the street and no one does anything about it.
How many times must that cord get run over the course of a day?
This is the city at its worst. Nobody fixes anything and everyone just blames everyone. Oh, there's nothing we can do about it. It's private property. No. Give me a better answer than that.
Given there's that power cord running across the street.
Well, yes, and that theft, we've talked about copper wire theft and all that kind of stuff. This is power.
By the way, in a city that constantly talks about a housing crisis, here's a giant vacant lot that's just sitting there.
Well, it's not just sitting there. Squatters have taken it over, and Randy, you're going to have to jump through a million different hoops if you want to kick them out.
Power that is
And who owns this? All we know is some LLC in Delaware. Maybe it's another Chinese investor. Maybe we got to stop doing that.
Power,
or maybe it's Dr. Jill.
Power that somebody is paying for, clearly. But I want to go back to you being there and then pulling up the cable. A lot of people might not realize when you have these types of encampments, they have their own security.
I told you it's like an HOA.
They
got a bouncer. You must be this high on meth to enter.
I would love to see what homeless muscle looks like.
They are very protective of their space. So I have
You mean the land that they don't own or lease that they're squatting on?
Yeah, that's quite presumptuous to take ownership to something you don't actually own.
So I have to believe that they saw you there, they didn't want you there, and you couldn't go in there or you would have been at risk. And that's two of you. There are two of you there.
The homeless people wouldn't let the reporters inside the encampment. They had to film it from overhead with a helicopter.
I would love to know what they said to the guy when he tried to get in. This is private property. Who do you think you are?
There are two of you there. I can't imagine what it's like for people who might be walking by.
Yeah, and because of time constraints, there's only so much you can put in this story. One of the other major concerns that people have there that we also experienced when we were out there is there's just a lot of waste, whether that's human or animal or whatever it is.
My goodness.
That is quite a description.
This city is going to look so great when all these big world events come.
We're really going to put our best foot forward, aren't we?
It stinks around there. So
in France, in Paris, they cleaned up the Seine so people could actually swim in it. What are we doing here? Making sure you can't even walk down the street without some kind of biohazard.
It stinks around there. So there's also safety concerns regarding that. You have to really watch where you're stepping around there because...
Needles?
Yes.
Don't go barefoot.
Needles?
Yes.
And we're not talking about that border town in East California.
I wouldn't recommend sandals either.
Needles?
Yes, but also feces of some sort from some sort of animal or human are all around that encampment, too. So there's a stench on top of all this.
I'm glad that we're not trying to specifically identify what it is that they almost stepped in while covering this story.
You know what would be interesting? The homeless version of Let's Make a Deal. All right, who's got Tic Tacs in their pocket? Okay, who has, I don't know, a tube of lipstick? With the homeless, you'd have to come up with different things in the encampment.
If the city's not going to clean up that literal crap, someone should take a shovel, scoop up as much as they can, and dump it right on City Hall. There's a peaceful protest.
On top of all this as well. And the reason why people get so frustrated with this, Philip, is they complain to 311, they file the complaints, but they don't see anything being done.
Nobody's reading those.
No. The only way City Hall responds is if you go to the news and they get embarrassed.
Now, this is a term I've heard used by multiple people. It's called the circular firing squad. And that's what this strikes me as. Because it's private property, you have all of these different entities that could do something, but they keep pointing the finger at somebody else, and we have this circular firing squad. Nobody gets anything done, but they're blaming everybody else.
And I think that's why the council member, Katie Yaroslavsky, came out and actually wanted to speak to us. Because
it didn't make her look good.
No. These politicians have such jaundiced views of reality that they think that they can look like the hero in a story like this.
If she does not have the power to get all of that you-know-what off the streets and get those people out of this massive encampment, why are we paying her $220,000 a year? What does she get paid for?
We deserve a refund.
To the location,
yes,
to her
the
credit,
location.
to the location.
Because she said the exact same thing. She goes, this isn't working, right? Like, somebody complains to LADBS, that's the Department of Building and Safety. She said her office complained, but it took weeks for them to send an inspector out there. She says that...
You're in charge of these people!
If only she knew someone with a little sway.
You know, the woman really was a truth teller and a soothsayer, and I'm so upset that we got rid of her before people really understood. But Shangy knew all about this.
The bureaucracy is real.
She was getting warm.
She says that is not acceptable. And the reason that's important is...
when a politician says it's unacceptable, but then they don't do anything about it, that tells you everything you need to know.
and it's par for the course.
And the reason that's important is that city entity can start to file an order of comply to the property owner, whether they are local or in this case a Delaware LLC, to have to make some sort of movement. You got to get this property up to code. One of the things she talked about, and what we'll go in tonight at 5, is she goes, in order for a property to be labeled nuisance in the city of LA, it can potentially take years.
And that's why
then fix the law.
There is so much, whether it's Karen Bass or the city council throwing their hands up in the air, there's just nothing we can do about this very obvious problem.
And you may remember 7 on Your Side a few months ago did a story about people reached out to us in Hollywood. There was a building that became vacant. People started moving into it. They started setting fires in there just to keep warm. But then...
Oh, that wasn't all they were doing. Johnny, you remember that's the one where the neighbors said there were snuff films.
Oh, yes. Yeah, those fires could have started for a number of reasons.
There's PTSD after what happened in January here. People were seeing fires started very close to their apartments. Well, a week after our story, it burned down.
That's what happens. And the city still throws their hands up in the air. There's nothing we can do about squatting.
He shouldn't act surprised over that result. We could all see that coming from a mile away.
They were also pointing the finger at LADBS for not moving fast enough and getting these properties, pushing them into compliance.
It is very frustrating. I think we're probably out of time. But I worry and I challenge these people who are in charge. Do we have to wait for somebody to be hurt? We have watched people hiding in hallways, staying on roofs, doing all the people experiencing homelessness who are also mentally ill, cause harm to people who are residents. Is that what's going to have to happen here before something is urgently done?
Even then, nothing is done.
No, they will let you get murdered, and then they'll say, well, we need more money for social services.
Hopefully not in this case, because the councilwoman says, given all the steps that are happening now, this should be cleaned up in a few weeks. And, of course, we will keep on top of it.
It'll be burned down by then. And since it's a vacant
should be
lot,
cleaned up in a few weeks.
Nobody acts with urgency about anything. Again, I ask a simple question. What are we paying for? What does her $220,000 salary do if she can't do the simplest of tasks?
Imagine if you had a councilwoman who marched down to the Department of Building and Safety and just started screaming at them and recorded it on video and put it on social media. You think they'd get the message that she wants it done right now as opposed to maybe in a few weeks?
In a few weeks. And, of course, we will keep on top of it and see if, in fact, that actually happens.
Yeah, and, Kevin, thank you. But this is a big problem all across the city. They may fix this one, but if they don't...
They won't.
Maybe because the news was there, but if they fix it, the homeless will be right back where they were before.
But if they don't come up with a plan to fix all of them, this is just going to keep happening.
Yeah, one last thing. Singman Lee is the one who actually reached out to us, the resident who heard from. He goes, I should not have to be reaching out to Channel 7 in order to get answers and movement here.
Unfortunately, no. What you have to do in this city is you have to reach out to Channel 7, you have to reach out to Channel 11, you have to reach out to KTLA, you have to reach out to KCAL, you have to reach out to NBC4. That is the only way anything moves in this city because these morons only respond to public shaming.
That is literally it. You can write letters until you're blue in the face. Unless you're on TV, they don't know you exist.
100% agree. Kevin, thank you. Sadly, we'll do many more stories like this.
I'm sure they'll be doing many more stories about this one specific encampment because it's all over every channel today. But there you go, Johnny. The massive homeless encampment on a vacant lot in Koreatown that's got its own tennis court, garden, and barbecue pit.
If you'd like to email the show, you can do so at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. That's johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. And Randy, you're monitoring the mailbag.
Dan writes in at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com with the subject line, come on, Randy. That story practically demanded my favorite drop, feces everywhere, no compassion, and you blew it. This is going to be hard for me to get past. You're totally right, Dan. I apologize. I can't believe that I did not fire this drop in the middle of that story.
Feces everywhere. No compassion.
Well, now you've made good. All right, Randy, you have an update for us on a story we did earlier this week about a part of downtown L.A. where people are randomly dumping pallets full of rotting vegetables.
There's more rotting produce, and it's getting bigger every day, and this has been going on for years. For more, here's KTLA.
To downtown L.A., where someone has been illegally dumping food onto the street in the middle of the night left to rot. Local business owners say the smell...
Every single story just shows you that Los Angeles might be the dirtiest city in the country.
And from Karen Bass's point of view, she thinks she's doing an excellent job.
Business owners say the smell is unbearable, the pile of rotting produce attracting vermin and cockroaches.
Alina Abovian is live. She's in downtown.
How would you like to draw the short straw that you have to do the live hit at the trash pile?
Oh, and do the updates too?
Alina Abovian is live.
We're going to need you to stay there for the 5, the 6, the 10, and the 11.
I'd go to my union rep.
Alina Abovian is live. She's in downtown L.A., and she has some details and some reaction for us. Alina.
Mike, Sandra, good evening. You know, my guess is that it's not just...
She sounds like her nose is plugged up, too.
Wouldn't yours be?
Get the clothespin out.
Mike, Sandra, good evening. You know, my guess is that it's not just one person doing this. This is a sanitation issue. It's an eyesore, and it's really uncomfortable just walking by. Now, we reached out to Mayor Karen Bass's office, and they responded with it by essentially saying that they are aware of the situation.
That makes it worse.
We're aware of it. We're just choosing not to do anything about it.
And that the city is on top of it.
No, Mama, this is nothing. This is just a breeze of what you don't want to see.
You can't help but see it and smell it. Boxes of rotting produce, tomatoes, pineapples, onions, lemons, and it's all been dumped out on the sidewalk.
I think it's from the market.
It's happening near the wholesale produce district south of downtown L.A.
This isn't the hardest mystery in the world to solve.
Yeah, you don't even need Matlock to figure this one out, or Andy Griffith.
Naomi Avenue, Hemlock Street, and Central Avenue, to name a few.
On Naomi Street.
This overnight video shows what looks like a wasteland filled with flies, roaches, and rats.
And we want the world to come here.
All dumped out.
She was almost the vice president.
All dumped out illegally on city property. During the day, you can see people picking through the produce for anything edible.
No.
Okay, I understand there are people who don't have many options, but seriously?
When you're acting like an actual coyote, you've got problems.
Very feral.
This is basically most of the people that stay around here that don't want to pay up for trash cans, so they come and illegally just dump that there middle of the night.
Victor Pena owns a business nearby. He says the city's sanitation department does pick up some of it on trash day, but it piles back up again.
Sounds like a losing battle to me.
I don't think this problem's getting solved anytime soon.
We hope to get on it a few weeks from now. That seems to be the message.